or a proponent of lying or not telling the truth. But the fact that Travis Kelce dismissed the talk leading into the Super Bowl about whether or not he was going to play next year was very smart, even if it's not the truth.
So that's not a headline or a distraction?
Can you imagine if leading up to the Super Bowl, he would have said, I'm not sure, guys. I don't know.
TBD.
I got to get through this game first.
Yeah.
Well, all of a sudden, the conversation turns to him. Now, maybe you want to say, hey, he should have done that. Anything different would have been better than what the result was. But we kind of just dismissed it. Now we're not, because now it's post-Super Bowl, post-loss, and obviously he's talking to somebody that he feels more comfortable talking to than anyone else in the world, I'm sure, his brother Jason on the New Heights podcast. And here's what Travis Kelce had to say about his future in the National Football League.
I've been fortunate over the past 5-6 years. I've played more football than anybody. So it's because the people that are in that building, the fact that we keep going to these AFC championships and these Super Bowls, and that means I'm playing an extra 3 games more than everybody else in the entire league. And that's a lot of wear and tear on your body. It's a lot of time spent in the building. That process can be grueling. It can weigh on you. It can make you better, and it could drive you crazy at the same time. And right now, it's one of those things where it was kind of driving me crazy this year. As you see yourself or not feel yourself have the success that you once used to have, man, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then on top of that, to not be there in the biggest moments, knowing your team's counting on you, man. It's just a tough reality. I'm going to take some time to figure it out. I think I owe it to my teammates that if I do come back, that it's going to be something that it's a wholehearted decision. I'm not half-assing it. And I think I could play. It's just whether or not I'm motivated or it's the best decision for me.
There is going to be, at some point, a next era of Kansas City Chiefs football, right? We've seen every superstar experience that. Brady won, I believe, 4, if I'm not mistaken, without Gronk on the field, right? The early ones and one of the late ones. Peyton Manning had guys come and go, obviously, in the NBA. Steph Curry had the pre-Kevin Durant, during Kevin Durant, post-Kevin Durant, Jimmy Butler. Like, this all happens this way. Based on hearing that, guys, are we heading to the Travis Kelce retirement offseason here? If you had to guess right now.
I think we might be. The fact that post Super Bowl on his podcast, he didn't have that same energy that he did leading up to the Super Bowl and his press conference at media night, I think is pretty telling that this is a decision that he's actually really considering. He's really considering walking away. And I don't know if the way that he performed in the Super Bowl, which obviously was not his best game, is something that would tip the scales. Because I can't imagine someone who is as great as Travis Kelce would feel good about that being the last time he was out on the football field. Maybe that somehow lights the fire for him to come back for one more year, knowing that the Kansas City Chiefs will probably be still in the mix and he has a better chance to go out on top. But this is something that we had discussed all season long. Is this going to be the last year for Travis Kelce? As he mentioned, they have played so much more football than everybody else. The wear and tear that it's taken on his body, I'm sure, is a lot. And the mental aspect of getting ready to play and the grueling nature of playing that many games year in and year out, it has to take a toll on him. And like he also talked about in the podcast, he has a beautiful life. He talked about his family and so many people that support him and all of these other interests that he has outside of football. So while I know he loves the game and he's a true competitor and has done so at the highest of levels, if he were to walk away, he's got a great new chapter that he can walk into, which may soften the blow a little bit. But even though I could see him wanting to come back because of the nature of the last game, I think this might be it for him.
Yeah, I think this could be an end of an era for the Kansas City Chiefs on the offensive side of the ball. The defense has already turned the page from what they were when Patrick Mahomes was first the starter, right? They've gotten much better. They've invested a ton of draft capital. That Tyreek Hill trade was the catalyst, in effect, for being able to rebuild that side of the ball. I think the offense is going to undergo those seismic changes. And of course, Travis Kelce has been such a big part of the identity of what the Chiefs have been in the Mahomes, Andy Reid era of that franchise. So, yeah, I think based on his latest comments, that could be the reality of it. And when you look at Travis Kelce on the field, the guy we saw in the Super Bowl is not the same version that we are accustomed to seeing. Right? He's a different player in 2024 than he was in 2018 when the Chiefs started this dynastic run. And when you look at the financials, he's scheduled to have a $19.8 million cap hit in 2025. I don't know about you guys, but Travis Kelce doesn't look like a $20 million a year player anymore.
No.
And so for the Kansas City Chiefs, if Travis Kelce does decide to walk away, that gives them even more ammunition to be aggressive this offseason and fortify areas of the team that they need to address. They got to fix the offensive line. They got to add more pass catchers. This just makes it clear and obvious that that's the direction that they should go in if Travis Kelce decides he's going to walk away.
I mean, tons of good points in there. I'll just add this. So Patrick Mahomes is one of those players that is worth the entirety of the salary cap. What's the salary cap, 250?
No, it's going up to 270, 275, somewhere in there.
If he says, I want 260, then you have to figure out how to fit 53 guys under 15 million. No, I'm being serious. Like, that's how valuable that man is.
Yeah.
So the first thing I think about with this is, if I root for an organization, the New England Patriots, that for 20 plus years were nameless, faceless outside of the quarterback, that the decision making was, does person X outperform their contract? And if not, they are not going to be here, right? That organization would have the easiest decision in the world this offseason. They would cut him in 2 seconds. $19 million on the books, $2 million dead cap, a $17 million cap savings for that level of production down the stretch. They would cut him in 2 seconds. They operated nameless, faceless, with no.
Oh, for sure.
You know, but if it's a $20 million investment into Patrick Mahomes smiling every day, it's well worth it. It's well worth it. Even if they think from a football perspective, we're not sure that this is worth it anymore. If Patrick Mahomes is going to come in every day better at his job because of that guy, and let's be honest, there's a lot of stuff with Patrick Mahomes that he can't control in and around him.
Yeah.
This man, Travis Kelce, is an amazing positive influence around him.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. But here's the other side of the game, right? They don't have to get rid of Travis Kelce for cap reasons. That's not what I was saying.
No, but that's what I'm saying, that other team, let's say a new GM took over that has no connection to these people. Forget the players.
Travis Kelce is one of the first guys that you circle.
That's
when you
exactly
look at
right.
the production
That's my
versus
point.
what he's getting paid.
Right.
Now, the Chiefs can create a hell of a lot of cap space if they restructure Chris Jones and Patrick Mahomes. I want to say it's like 30, 40 million bucks.
Which I assume they would.
Yeah,
Both players
I
would.
assume that both players would do that in order to be able to add pieces. So it's not as if the Travis Kelce retirement is a must because they need the cap space. They're not up against it in that way. I'm just saying that if he does retire, it makes it clear and obvious what the Kansas City Chiefs offseason plan should be, and it gives them yet even more ammunition in the way of cap dollars and resources to go out and get the players to fortify this squad that expects to be in the championship rounds every single season.
I hear your point, Ev, on bringing him back because it is comfortable for Patrick Mahomes and it can elevate him from a mental standpoint.
Yeah.
But how did that bear fruit in the Super Bowl?
It didn't. But they got there, and he did have 90. Like,